Oh my God. So once again, this show is brought to you by Alex Kurtzman's Butthole.
We grew up on television. The tube was our babysitter. Guide us through the tube. Morals sent by transmitter. This is where you go to get down to the know about great TV shows all on one show. It's time for some TGIF right here on Pop Culture Minefield. Thank God it's Friday on Pop Culture Minefield. Thank God it's Friday on Pop Culture Minefield. Thank God it's Friday on Pop Culture Minefield.
Oh my God, it's Friday.
Is it?
Yay.
Oh, I said, oh my God, instead of thank God it's Friday. Oh my God, it's Friday. I wasn't ready.
Wow.
So, hey guys, hope you all had a good week. It is time for a little Keith and Gary, and we're going to be talking about some great television. And Keith came up with like this top 10 list, and then I expanded upon it, and another one just popped into my head of another great fucking show. And there are some really good shows that had me hooked right from the get-go. And so I'm looking forward to talking about some of these things right now, to be honest with you. There's so many people don't. I hear a lot of complaints, man, TV sucks, movies suck. And it's like, actually, we have got some great television that really goes beyond even the best TV shows of the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have. Over the last 20 years, I really do think that we've gotten a lot more quality than we think. Now, with this particular topic, with this list, this is just the pilots and not the actual series. Because
the ones that start right off and just get you going. And that's why, even though there are more shows that we could have listed, the fact is I stuck to the shows that I felt right from the get-go took off and ran.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's important. It's important to have a strong pilot. Something that makes you want to see the show. If I were to go to my all-time list, this is a different list because now we're talking other TV shows since I've been watching TV. Definitely the pilot for the X-Files, I think, is really well done. And the pilot for...
But there's an X-Files type show that wasn't on your list that surprised me.
Oh, really?
And I was wondering why Fringe wasn't on your list. Because you're the one who got me watching Fringe.
You know what? I like the pilot to Fringe.
Did you just forget about it?
No, I didn't. I'm with me, I really liked the pilot, but I thought that the second and third episodes were the best. Better than the pilot. Again, this is the list of really the top 10 best pilots of shows in the last 20 years. Now, this is not a referendum on the entire series, because some shows had decent pilots, but the shows are really good. And then you have certain shows that have really good pilots, but the show peters out. For instance, you could say that about like Game of Thrones. Great pilot. Nobody liked the last season. Nobody really liked the last two seasons.
Like that
That
three.
They
happened.
did have 5.5 good seasons, though, Keith. To be fair.
Yes. But again, I'm not. That saves. I think I'd like to think that this kind of saves from us, from us having to make that argument, and that's a lot to think about. But it's also walking a particular line because we're not judging the series; we're judging the pilots, and to me, again, that is the most important part because without a really good pilot, you're not really going to make time for the show.
As you said, it's got to grab you from the very get-go.
Yeah.
And like another one that falls into this window was the first episode of The Walking Dead. That grabbed me from the very get-go.
Grabbed a lot of people.
And so it just suffice to say, I feel like this should be a part 1 because there are so many great shows since 2004. Look, man, we should do this again next week to go over more shows because we'll also be doing honorary mentions.
Dude,
yeah.
How about finishing the run of House of the Dragon first?
No, we're not doing
Don't give a shit. I got to be honest. It lost me this season.
I'm the only one who cares on this
I
channel,
lost
so.
any interest. Yeah, exactly. Anima was the only one watching, and I'm kind of like doing other stuff while it's on. I just don't care.
Oh my god, my OCD is gonna kill me then. Anima, we need to do that show. Just I need to be close. we can do it, both of us.
It's great. See, but that's what I'm saying. Anybody that's sitting around thinking that there's just absolutely nothing out there that is good, I think you either are high or you're just not paying attention. There's so much good stuff out there, and I just picked the stuff. Go ahead.
If you're not happy with what's currently on TV, just go and rewatch something. There's so many awesome series that deserve.
That's what we do. I go and watch classic shows.
So stop complaining. There is good stuff. Maybe they're not making good stuff right now, or not really good stuff. So just pick something else to watch. There's so much out there. You're
correct. And again, a lot of us got here by watching a lot of our favorite shows growing up again and again and again. I mean, that pretty much is Star Trek. I mean, you got to remember the 79 episodes of Star Trek held up for you're talking 10 years. So, 10 years of talking, of watching and talking and fandom, and before even the first film. So, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there. So, all I know is we have a lot of good stuff to watch. And speaking of that, let me take this time to at least say this one news story that's popped out. That it looks like they are trying to work on an animated adaptation of Deadman comic. There has been no one put forth to run the show. There's been nothing written, but it looks like DC Studios, Warner Brothers Animation, and DC Studios are working on adapting Deadman. I hope the pilot is good.
I have my doubts.
I hope the pilot is good. I know that there are people who really seem to like Batman Caped Crusader, and I will always say I'm glad you do. I'm just not one of those people.
It's like,
personally,
look, man, people have been fed a constant diet of shit for so long. They're connoisseurs of shit. And so they aren't like us that remember what quality TV and film was like, And so they'll go, man, that was some tasty shit. You're eating shit. You don't know it, apparently, but you're eating shit. And you and I, on the other hand, will go, no, thank you. I do not want any of that. I'll have what's behind curtain number 3, Monty.
By the way, Do you know what is behind curtain number 3?
Something gay? I don't know. What?
No, it's Sax's video.
Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
That was kind of gay.
But
So, and I don't know if you heard me. I did say hi to you, Zax. So, who else here right now? We got Snort. Oh, Snortopoopas is here. Hello. We got
hey,
our
Snorty,
Morrow here. Josh Coe is here, and guess what? He's free.
has he ever posted more than that in chat?
And no, Emmanuel is here. Bonjour, Emmanuel.
Bonsoir.
Is a big horror fan, loves The Evil Dead, loves Josh Becker.
Nice.
And I don't know if we'll ever be able to get him back, Emmanuel. I'm just waiting to hear back from him. So let's see. Penny is here.
Hey, Penny.
Hi, Penny.
And of course, our dear friend Zax. Kyle.
Did you see Zach's question, Gary?
Wolverine. I'm going through names right now. Wolverine 626. I'm not reading anything. Oh, D. Bud Martin, hardest working wrench out there. In fact, I heard he's such a good wrench that he wrenched his wrench.
Oh. Did that hurt?
Well, it's wrenched.
Ouch. I hope you're okay.
So
bud.
Anima is ignoring him. No? Look at that. Zax
Hey,
thinks you're
Zach.
ignoring
No,
him.
I just can't get a word in once Gary starts.
Love
talking.
this one.
So what was the question? I'm not
Is
free,
anyone
but
watching
I'm
Sugar?
reasonably priced. What
I
was the
started,
question?
Gary. Isn't it dark
This
colors?
one.
There.
Did anyone watch? Fuck yes, I did. It's
We
on
did.
my list.
We
It's
did.
on my list. I absolutely love that show. When we got to that episode, you know the one I'm talking about, Zach. When we got to that episode, I had one of those, what the fuck is going on?
Yep. Yep.
What just happened? What
That
just
was
happened?
So
Was
surprising.
that amazing? I felt I was floored. And they were scared doing that. They were kind of afraid how audiences would react. But
That could have gone
absolutely, I
horribly
think
wrong.
fans loved it. That it went from being a detective show, noir, modern neo-noir, to a fucking sci-fi neo-noir. I was like,
I thought that was
what?
brilliant.
Oh yeah. Look, I've seen the movie Caddyshack. It was a Baby Ruth book. So Anima doesn't know what I'm saying. Keith knows what I'm saying.
I'm
She's
trying
gotta
not to
see that
crack up.
movie. I am trying to introduce her to so much cinema that you and I have just
Oh yeah.
absorbed in the last 50 years. And
Well-
she's just barely skimming the surface.
Also,
have
too
you-
much time.
Have you made the
think
decision
it's true.
to? Have you made the decision to show her when you're able to see it? Have you made the decision to show her the movie Saturday night when it's available? Because I know that's coming to theaters in October.
Oh, the new film?
Uh,
Yeah, absolutely. When we get a copy of it, we're going to watch it. I watched the new trailer yesterday.
Yeah, me too.
And it looks good.
Yes, it does. I like the cast. Again, I'm not going to sit here and say it's perfect, but in reading the cast list and checking out some of the additional characters that are in this, I'm impressed. It looks like there has been some participation by a lot of people who are connected to this, and this may actually be something that everybody that worked on the initial season of Saturday Night Live originally all signed off in their own way on. So that elevates this already.
Fucking lost my shit when Chevy Chase slips over the trash can and falls on the floor in the hallway and then stands up, straightens himself out, and he says, "Sorry, I tripped over my dick."
Well, you know who plays that? You know who's playing Chevy in the movie?
I didn't recognize him, but that was spot on Chevy.
Okay. Remember the television series Gotham?
Yeah.
That's the Riddler. Max, the actor that played the
No
Riddler.
shit.
And got,
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's him.
Oh, yeah. Awesome, dude.
He channels Chevy very well.
I like the guy that's playing Belushi. And
Yeah.
that shot of the chick playing Gilda Radner actually looked like Gilda Radner to me. It's like, wow.
This is definitely something that's really exciting. Look, I'm looking forward to this because this is like stepping back in time. I never saw the pilot episode, but I did watch that.
Is it just me, or is he dropping out?
He's dropping out.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Keith, stop for a second. Make sure your connection's good, and then try again because you started dropping out right when you started talking about it.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get this.
You sound good right now.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I can hear you now.
Okay. I did watch the first season. I didn't watch the pilot, but I watched the first season, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm kind of invested in a way with this. But even then, even if you weren't around for this is something to watch because of what happened to all of these people, not just the ones that we know. I mean, there were a lot of people involved with this. And yeah, this is definitely Oscar bait, but this is also an opportunity for many actors to really become known. These are career making parts, and all of these actors probably knew that becoming a part of this project and having to work with this material about this particular subject. So I'm enjoying it. I'm digging it. I've already made plans to go see the movie as soon as I'm able to buy tickets. So
I'm hoping that it will quickly be available on video on demand or something so I can watch it.
Yeah.
Because it takes, I'm not spending $7 or $14 really today on a ticket unless it is an epic film. That is more of one I would like to see. It's a biopic, you know.
Yes.
But it's not $14 worth of movie for me.
That's all right. You know, I'm just glad this thing's made.
And I'm not saying it's not going to be great. I'm saying
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great. I don't want it. I won't watch comedies in a movie theater. All I want to see is spectacle films that have to be seen in a movie theater to be enjoyed.
Yeah.
And
agree.
that's where I'm at now.
I think this is going to be more of a dramedy, dramatic retelling.
If they talk about any of the drug use, it's got to be.
Oh yeah,
it damn near ruined some of their lives. It killed Belushi.
Yeah. I mean, the way I heard it is that everybody didn't initially start out with the drugs, but the nose candy eventually became something that everybody was on by the end of that first season. And
yeah, because it was insane trying to come up with comedy in a week.
Yeah.
Week.
And that's the thing. The big thing about Saturday Night Live for those members of the Not Ready for Primetime players is you not only had to perform, you had to write. You had to write your stuff. And Dan Aykroyd was absolutely on fire those first 2 to 3 seasons. The stuff he came up with. I mean, I don't think Dan Aykroyd gets enough credit for how major of a player he was in that first season of the show. The Bassomatic.
That was the first thing that popped in my mind. Also, when he did, what's her name? Julia Childs. Whoa! And started squirting blood everywhere like something out of a fucking Monty Python skit. My God.
Jeez. and just classic bits. For me, though, oh wow, I love the land.
And it
shark
really
bit.
did.
That's one of
By the way, and this fits the subject of today, which is that show. I watched did you watch the pilot, the first episode?
I I eventually did. I
I
but
saw
I
it
didn't watch
when
it
it aired.
when it came. Yeah,
I watched it when it aired.
I missed
I was
out.
with my grandmother and my dad. We were in the
Uh-huh.
Watergate Hotel when I watched the pilot
Wow.
in our room at the Watergate
Wow.
Hotel.
Wow.
And that's a memory.
Yeah. I watched episode 2. From episode 2 on, I was, because you knew you missed something. See, this is back when you couldn't. Once you missed a show, you missed it. You had to wait till they re-aired it in order to see it. So you heard about this at school, that Monday, and everybody I knew that I liked was talking about it. So obviously I'd missed something, and so next Saturday night I was ready to go. I was ready to watch it, and oh man. Anyway, oh wow, we're still on track. So let's begin on the list now.
Yeah, and Martin has a nice little slideshow for you. Or
Oh, thank
strip,
you,
whatever you
Martin.
call it.
Oh, don't worry.
So
Slideshow.
let's start with the first show at number 10. Okay, this is the top 10 pilots that have premiered in the last 20 years. So 2004 to 2024. Okay. At number 10, I have the pilot for Peacemaker. Episode's called A Whole New World. WHIRLED. And this episode was really meant to. It begins with an edited down selection of scenes from the movie The Suicide Squad to help catch you up to why Peacemaker is where he's at the beginning of the episode. In many ways, or in certain ways, I don't think you even have to watch that movie. It helps to have some understanding, but the movie really doesn't do too much. I mean, a majority of what you learn about Peacemaker is through this television series. So if you've never seen the movie, you could still get into the show. In fact, having that mystery, if you've never seen the film, kind of helps, in my opinion. This episode was written by James Gunn. And I got to say that I love the fact that some of the actors from the movie did make the transfers to the television show. So the cast, of course, includes John Cena. And making the transfer from the film to the television show is also Steve Agee and Jennifer Holland, a.k.a. Mrs. James Gunn. And I think that the humor, more than anything else, stands out. This is a show that just doesn't give two Fs. They will go there in order to tell a story. And I think from the opening shot to even really the opening of the show, the title of the show, where everybody does the dance, which at various conventions became the thing. Now I think the new current thing is the NSYNC dance from Deadpool. But
yeah,
this is a fun show. What do you think, Gary?
Well, you know how
what
I
was your
feel
feel-
about it. I had some issues with it because I hated the movie. But I enjoyed the crap out of this show. I love the intro, the dance intro, fucking fun. What sold me on the show was Eagly. I'm like,
Oh,
that is
God.
the best character ever created for anything. And I love Eagly. But I didn't care too much for some of the other characters in there. Like Amanda Waller's daughter was fucking stupid. Like, it's just a stupid character, badly conceived character. But some of the other characters are great. I think the moment for me that cinched it for the series was when he goes to that girl's apartment and then she tries killing him.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
That was funny. And then once he defeats her, he ends up going to bed with her and just oh yeah. There's just so much about this show that will cause you occasionally to go, oh my goodness, that's not right. And they just didn't care. They did not care at all. They just did it. You know, I love Robert Patrick in this show playing Peacemaker's dad.
The dad, yeah.
Just even some of the characters they ended up including, like Judo Master and Adrian Chase, and just
Judo Master was a much better character in the comics, and I felt like they kind of shorted him.
Of course.
When I say shorted, I'm also being funny because he's really, really short. So, and I thought that was weird, making him so fucking short. But still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed this whole damn season. The only one part that pissed me off was when they included the Justice League.
Well, that's in the final episode. So, but we're just talking about the pilot.
I was not happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an incredible pilot, and it makes you want to see more. Even if you watch the movie, you come out of this wanting to see more, and it did its job, because there's a reason why so many people got into learning the steps for the dance, but also the theme song. You know, I mean, Wigwam, Do You Want to Taste It? Great song. Don't know what I don't know if they're gonna use the same song in season 2, so I'm kind of waiting to see what they do with this. But yeah, it's earned it scored well enough with me that I definitely want to see what season 2 is going to be like. How about you, Anima?
Anima.
What about me?
Anima?
Were you able to watch the pilot to Peacemaker?
No, I said before the show, out of the 10 episodes that you picked, I've only seen 2. So I originally was planning to take this Friday off.
Oh, okay. Well, I am sorry. I'm an idiot.
No, I've seen The Boys and one other.
Way to put her in an awkward position.
Yeah, that is my
just
fault
embarrassed
entirely.
everyone.
I know, and
Shut the
I
fuck
embarrassed
up, Gary.
myself.
No, if I've seen the episode, I'm going to give you my 2 cents, but most of them I just haven't seen and know nothing about. So,
well, I hope you get around to watching this, because I liked it. You know, I think it's a lot of fun. How about you, Martin? Did you? At least...
I freaking love the show, man. Oh yes, I do. Yeah, I would concur that with Gary, in which Eagly is by far the best character, but I will disagree in that with the others character. I really got into the show and all the characters, but Eagly was my favorite. Especially at the intro when he strike his pose and then notice that he's some inches away and try to correct
Eagly
it.
like scoots over. Yeah, I laughed the first time I saw that. I'm like, oh my god, that's fucking great.
I agree with you guys. Eagly is probably my favorite character on the show. I love Eagly. Wow.
And I got scared they were going to kill him in that episode.
Right?
When they're chasing him through the woods. I'm like, don't you kill him. Don't you kill him. I will quit your show if you kill him.
I agree with you. I probably would have rage quit the show if they had killed Eagly. Oh, geez. Anyway, yeah, I thought the show was great. and overall definitely earns a place as far as one of the top pilots, top 10 pilots of the last 20 years. I think everything about it, and the fact that I think James Gunn said that he's currently working on, wow, just using what's in his hand right now as a mic.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's a female pleasure device.
Oh, wow.
This is that whole fight scene.
Oh, wow. You know, the other thing about this show is that, you know, kind of like, you know, just like what James Gunn was able to do with the Suicide Squad, having Peacemaker be a place where you could just play songs from various hair bands. You know, I mean, this is a character that loved the hair bands. This particular character on screen, the woman he's fighting, turns out he also liked hair bands himself. And so, you know, I think you're going to have a lot of that on the official soundtrack for this show. And so I guarantee you there are a lot of bands that probably reached out to see if they can get their music associated with this show going into season 2. So it'll be interesting to see what songs they pick out.
I have a list of songs that I want to hear in that show. I'm gonna tell you just one for the moment. I want to
Okay.
hear the Crocus cover of "Keep on Rocking on the Free World." It goes completely with the character, and he must be here. He must hear that in another car painted like the flag, because the original got blown to bits.
Yeah. Wow.
Magic Carpet Ride would be another one I'd love to hear on the show.
Yeah.
Some of that classic Three Dog Night, Badfinger. Fucking Badfinger, man.
Yeah.
People don't remember that band at all because they were kind of they were raised by the Beatles, and
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know that because their first hit was written by Paul McCartney.
Mhm.
Good God, Badfinger's a great band. And they got screwed really badly by Apple Music.
Yeah.
Gary, any comments about this? That's
The
Shanasi
fight
saying here.
gives Gary flashbacks of my first marriage. Yes, Shanasi knows it. That entire scene was 3 years of my marriage. Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, wow. Oh, anyway, yeah. So you can see why I put this on the list, and again, it's at number 10. So that takes us to number 9. Now, number 9 has, it's easy to say that this has a fan following, a little bit of a fan following.
You think?
Yeah. I wouldn't really, you know, I did watch the pilot episode when it aired, and I got to tell you, it piqued my interest because at that point I hadn't seen a show that was willing to go that far, that was on technically network television, you know. And you can say a lot of things about this show, but the one thing you can definitely point to is that Supernatural changed the way that we saw horror on television. It just did. Because everything that came after Supernatural, I mean, everybody had to basically take their game up a notch in order to match what Supernatural just did easily. Okay? Chemistry between the leads, but some of the stories were just, they were just really well told. I was surprised by how much I really got in to the show, especially the pilot, which the first episode was just called Pilot, you know. but you're able to have time to basically get and understand the basic premise of the show at that point, which is about two brothers who are trying to find their father who's disappeared. And it turns out that when you meet the first, well, you're doing the whole flashback thing about the baby, the crib, and all of that stuff. Just that whole thing with just seeing the wife on the ceiling and the flames, and that still sticks with you after watching it. And again, the Winchester brothers have, in my opinion, become part of what good genre TV is. And that fan base can't be beat. I'm sorry. They're everywhere. There are Supernatural fans everywhere. So, Gary, what do you think about this choice, number 9?
That's Don Ecker territory. I didn't watch this show. I caught the first season. I can't even remember it. I came back one time to watch the Scooby-Doo episode. But damn it, I trust everybody around me that liked it. So, it's like Fringe, Fringe and that show are the two shows I didn't watch when they were on.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't get into them. But I'd like to go back and revisit them. So I've been going back and revisiting Fringe, and then I'm going to eventually go and revisit Supernatural. I knew that, what's his name, the older brother, he came from Smallville.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when they were saying he was getting his own show. And this is back in the, before CW. It was still the Warner Channel.
Mm-hmm.
And, or Warner TV or whatever they called it. And Supernatural was the one exception to the rule of juvenilizing the scripts.
Mm-hmm.
It grandfathered in and didn't fall prey to the juvenilizing of the scripts, which everything else did.
Yeah. Emmanuel says, I never got into that show. I saw a few episodes, but that's it. Look, I'm not going to say
Emmanuel.
I'm not saying this show was for everybody. Okay. Wolverine 626 also adds in Jensen Ackles was also on Dark Angel. I remember that with Jessica Alba.
Yep.
That's another show I didn't watch.
I like Dark Angel. I really,
a lot of people did. I just didn't get into it.
Yeah.
I liked the first season. The second season went out of the reservation. That it went bonkers.
Yeah, that's
to the
exactly
point that it got canceled.
Yeah, and I agree. The first season of Dark Angel was really well done, and the second season was like a whole new group of writers took over that never bothered watching the first season. Although, in many ways,
didn't Jeffrey Dean Morgan play their dad?
Yes.
Yes,
Supernatural. Yeah, because this is where I first saw him. This is.
I seem to remember him from that too, because when I did see him in The Losers, I'm like, where do I know this guy from? And it's from this show.
Yep. But yeah, very, very good Wolverine. Very good. I had nearly forgotten that he was on Dark Angel. But you could say that the second season of Dark Angel pretty much had many of the same basic story points, really, as Stranger Things. But that's not how we started out. And so it was just too different, just too radical in the direction and the shift of how they did that. But going back to Supernatural, this was a show that definitely earned the fans that it got, who became extremely loyal. And it had its own universe, which is, to me, the mark of a really, really good show. To build your own universe and rules and the way things work out, and to not find ways of, first and foremost, contradicting anything that you've written in order just to go down a particular road. Or if you do that, come up with a really good reason why. That just bugs me to no end when you set up a bunch of rules and then you end up breaking those rules. You know, you better have a good reason for doing it.
Yeah, do you? Just curious if you have a good example of when someone has done that.
You know
It's
what?
a good point. It's
Yeah.
a good point.
I will. I'll post a good example of that. Really is the Star Trek writers during the Berman era. They got lazy after a while, and they stopped trying. One of the strongest points about the Berman Star Trek shows is the fact that they would set something up on, like, say, Next Generation, and you would eventually have that be moved forward on Deep Space Nine. They wouldn't do anything to it. They would say, hey, about this, and, you know, they continue that. And then maybe on Voyager or even Enterprise. Enterprise. You know, the biggest thing they did wrong was their use of the Borg on Enterprise. I'm not saying you could not have had the Borg on Enterprise. I'm just saying that you'd already set up these characters a particular way. And by just having them on Enterprise, you were setting yourself up for major plot contradictions based on the introduction of those characters, that species, basically. And even, I will say this, to Berman's credit and to a lot of the writers' credit, they now admit that they made a mistake. You know, of course, it's too late, but they admitted they made a mistake.
Not the biggest, though.
Say what?
Ouch.
The biggest mistake with the series Enterprise was that fucking last episode. That was an episode of TNG. What an insult. I watched it once. I rewatched the series, I don't know how many times, without the last episode.
They should put that episode into moratorium and remake a finale for that show where it continues.
I've watched interviews and I get why they had to do it, but as a fan, come on.
Yeah, I agree with you, Anima.
I want to interject here for just a moment. This is fresh off the press. Over in England, apparently they found the missing frog brother from Lost Boys, disguised as Deputy Chief Constable Rachel Swan. This, of course, clearly is the missing frog brother.
What the fuck?
I wouldn't even have guessed that's a she. That's like, what is that? I'm sorry. That was very incorrect, but
Yeah.
we get away with that here. We're Pop Culture Minefield. We can say shit.
Oh, wow.
They can't put me in jail.
God damn it, man. You're going to give me nightmares.
Jail doesn't want you, Gary.
Wolverine 626. Yes, but can you blame timey-wimey stuff on the Borg with Enterprise? I see what you did there.
Don't go there. Don't go there, kid. We need
there.
we need to talk about other things.
I know. We're gonna.
Mark wanted to have ADD theater today.
I didn't like that storyline too, by the way.
He's like, don't mess up my film strip. Stick to the point.
You know what?
Not that as much as that is a bogus theory.
Oh, what are you talking about? Peter Sellers was never in Star Trek.
I will end.
That's how you misread something.
I will end this by saying this. This was a well-oiled machine by the time it went off the air. Was it perfect?
It was well lubed. It was well lubed.
Phrasing.
Yeah.
And so there has been talk of possibly bringing it back. I don't know why, because that final episode. Well, I mean, everybody's still reasonably young. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but we're getting into a period of life here where
I would love it to happen, because if it did, that means they will do away with that really stupid reboot of Walker Texas Ranger show.
Well, that's already off. That's already gone. So
has it gone? Oh, thank God. Thank God. Oh my God. I prayed every night that like they would get leprosy or something and not be able to finish that show.
Yeah, Gary, I'm beginning to think that you don't like the show.
It's not that I don't like it; I loathe it. I watched that first one. It was so insulting to the intelligence. The very pilot episode. I'm like, how is this show ever going to fucking make it? The only reason that fucking show made it was because people were pushing it that worked for the company. That's the only reason why. They weren't getting the viewership. Nobody fucking liked it. But they kept watching. Let's make some more. So, what's the next one you're going to go over?
The next one is a show that for a period of time just completely dominated. I couldn't go to conventions without seeing something about it or somebody doing something within that. And this is Sherlock.
Oh.
Sherlock for a period of time was it. It was well done.
For a lot of people, it really was.
I've actually seen that. I liked it.
I loved the characterizations. That's what I loved.
Yeah.
Because they embodied the characters. My problem is the writers of this show thought they were smarter than Conan Doyle. And so what Sherlock was, when you really step back and look at it, was a deconstruction of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's writing. And they wanted to break it apart and turn it into something else. So there really was no solving of crimes on that show. And it's really weird when you look at what they did, that they completely deconstructed the idea of what Conan Doyle was doing. But the fact is, I was captured by these two actors playing Holmes and Watson, and they nailed the characters. And I thought they deserved a better production team than those two, which was what's his name from Doctor Who, and
Stephen Moffat,
and the guy who plays Holmes' brother in the show. They were the showrunners.
Yeah, that was oh man, it's Stephen Moffat.
I know.
And man,
hold on, I'll save your brain.
Mark Gatiss.
No, I'm going to do it for you. Yeah,
okay.
Mark Adams. Mark Gatiss. Yes, Mark Gatiss. He and God, man, I have fantasized many a time of getting them alone in a broom closet.
Let's not go there, maybe.
Yeah, just working them over. Assholes.
Again.
Another great casting in that show. And even though he's not in the pilot, he is at the end of the season. And that is Andrew Scott as Moriarty. They got an American to play Moriarty, and I thought
Moriarty.
That was
I mean, everybody in the cast was really good. I loved Rupert Graves as Molly Hooper. You know what though?
Amanda, what's her name? Played John's future wife, who is also an operative. That was something that annoyed the crap out of me. But the very first episode was the taxi cab driver, right? Wasn't that the? Oh no. The first one was
the taxi cab driver was the first one.
Was that the pilot? Because was it the taxi cab driver? The taxi cab driver, or this is something in Scarlet?
No, yeah, it was an adaptation of A Study in Scarlet, and the episode was called A Study in Pink.
Yeah, Study in Pink.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably one of my favorite stories from the original run of the Sherlock Holmes stories. And and they kept some interesting stuff in there, but they would go in different directions. And I was curious. I watched the whole episode and I thought it was brilliant. I really loved the first episode.
It's very well done. It makes you want to see the other two that they did. I have to special shout out and really highlight of Una Stubbs, who was Mrs. Hudson.
Oh my God, she was so fucking funny.
Oh,
you know,
God.
And I began wondering, like, right off the bat, did she kill her husband?
Yeah, right.
Did she murder him?
Something
Like,
is weird.
what the fuck is up with her?
And
the way she likes drugs? What?
and Lars Mikkelsen, who was also cast, did a fantastic job. Really, everybody was just great in this episode, and a lot of them having made appearances already on Doctor Who. Some of the cast, but to me, Gary's right. It's Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. That if they didn't work, this show was never going to work.
Yeah, if it hadn't been for those two, that it's perfect casting.
Mm-hmm.
And he did such a really good job of John Watson suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. At first, is it just post-traumatic stress? But then you see how it's causing him to not work correctly. And Sherlock helps him find a way to work with his PTSD by focusing on things.
Is broken. That he doesn't work. He goes crazy.
Exactly. And the two of them have a good impact on one the other. And I love that.
I just like the fact that it brought a lot of people who either had never really wanted to read Sherlock Holmes. It brought them into at least wanting to pick up the books. Because I remember after that first season, that Christmas season, Sherlock Holmes novels were already, Amazon was flooded with orders. People were going and wanting to read the original stories. And I'm always happy with that. The success of this show was such that you had a pair of American producers who wanted to do an American version of it. And the BBC decided to tell them no. And so that led them to making their own adaptation of this show. And then putting a little bit of a twist on it, which wasn't much of a twist because anybody, if you were told, hey, we're going to do a modern version of Sherlock Holmes, it's the first thing that everybody that has attempted that has done, which is recasting one of them, in this case Watson, recasting them as a woman. And so that led to Elementary. And again, the producers had to admit that they were taking a lot of cues from this show, even after creating the show, in how they dressed their character and a lot of the shots that they had. They would also, have certain scenes and shots shot a particular way that they had already done it on Sherlock. Again, there's nothing like being a fan of something, but really, to be fair, I've watched an episode or two of Elementary and I couldn't get into it. I know
Elementary I watched, but I think I watched it because I'm a fan of what's her name that played Watson in it. The Chinese actress.
Jim Chen.
Lucy Liu. Lucy Liu.
Oh, Lucy Liu.
Now this is actually the unaired pilot, and they ended up releasing it later as one of the episodes of the season. But this is the Poisoner one I was talking about, and in the original story, it's an act of revenge. He's out to get revenge in the original story, and it's really weird the way they did it in this, that he was doing something else and making people make a choice. One pill has poison in it, one pill doesn't. And I will take a pill too. So we both have an equal chance of winning or losing. And it's based on I'm not sure if it's a short story or a play, but it was from an original short Sherlock Holmes story, but I don't know if it's from Conan Doyle.
Well, this show did fantastic. It blew up worldwide. A lot of people became fans. It got a lot of people interested in Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and his greatest creation. And that's always a positive thing. Get more people reading. That's always my thing. I'm a sucker.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, the guy that you see here, that guy right there, he
Mhm.
was on that Ripper Street series or Whitechapel series. He was
Yes,
one of
yes.
the actors in that. Now I love that show. I was sad when
You
they
know
ended
what?
that.
His name is Phil Davis. Very,
Yep.
very good character actor. Yeah.
Yep. Been in a lot of stuff. He's also been in stuff with the guy who a lot of people don't know he's British. The guy on the roof in Batman '89 that he grabs and holds him up over the ledge of the building. What you tell
Mhm.
your friends about me? Who are you? I'm Batman. That guy that he's holding up is actually close friends with this actor,
Wow.
and they've done a lot of stuff together. And he's a British actor. I don't think did he die recently? I think I saw that he had passed away.
Oh.
What
Wow.
is his name? Oh, hold on. Let me go look it up.
Okay.
Batman.
Well, while you're doing that, let me at least kind of wrap this up a
Yeah,
bit.
do something, Keith. Jesus, we pay you for this.
Oh, we can play the video for Tim because he just joined us.
Oh.
Asking, is it the Donkey Show? No, it's not, Tim. Fuck you.
What? What are you fighting about?
Oh wow!
a
Thank
donkey
you,
show?
Tim.
I just gave him a loving welcome. That's all. Give me his video. Go,
I
do it,
fucked
do
with him
it,
last night
do it.
when he jumped on our show and Martin started playing his video for him, and I ended it with Bush.
Oh,
Wow.
What?
no, we should try to do that again. That synchronizing, overlapping of videos. It took everybody
think
by
so.
surprise. I tell you that.
I know, that was what was so much fun about it.
Wow.
It's
Anyway.
like I figured because Bush is such a good guy and he's been with us for so long, I made him a quick video so we could say hi to him. Then I just played one over the other one and just thought it was funny because right when he's going to say, "Some call me," and then it went Bush.
By the way, where is it?
By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Wow.
Oh, Tim's video. And just in case if Bush makes it.
Wow.
I didn't know we had that. That's new.
That was new. That was yesterday.
I made it just last night. I was fucking around.
You know
And
what?
Don't
Just-
forget, before this episode ends, we will be doing. That's right.
You know, Tim, I'll say it just for you. Where are all the
Talk
right
together.
women at? Oh gosh.
Well, the white women at. Is that what you just said?
I said right
did-
women at.
Oh, right women. Because like Martin like trampled all over it. What were you saying, Martin?
Oh, I thought Tim was sending a message to you and I was exteriorizing it.
Oh. And by the way, we also have a new Breach video. Are you ready for this one, Keith?
Sure.
Holy shit. I just heard a symphony of buttholes clenching all at once.
I had to have Gary make that when we watched him.
And I brought
Because
this
I
back
finally
for
watched
anybody
it.
that brings up Ghostbusters, like Vinkman's Girls is here. Vinkman's Girl is here, so this one's for her.
Ladies, these grocery carts are an oath.
Pretty sure the male version of this is better.
I might say the same thing about Ghostbusters.
Zing. Oh, Tim. Okay. You were wanting me to say the other version. You didn't. Oh, okay.
Well, the white women.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what?
Oh, Vinkman's Girl liked that one. She liked that one. Video. That's her
Speaking of
video
women.
from now on. So
Speaking of
whenever
women,
Vinkman's Girl jumps in, you got to play the Ghostbusters video just for her.
Speaking of women, that takes us to the next series on our list.
That's the
at
show,
number-
Ripper Street.
Yes, that was a good
I'm
show.
sorry. Was it Whitechapel? Was it Ripper something? It was Ripper Street. I love that
Well,
show. And I was pissed when they canceled it.
Whitechapel was good too. I was watching both of them, and then my cable provider just took out BBC from the air
Ugh.
and left me with a whole plethora of unfinished show. Thank you, motherfuckers.
Number 7, we have a show that from its pilot on just never let me go. But I really enjoyed everything they accomplished, and I felt that the cast and the scripts were well done. And I am talking about the Netflix animated series Blue Eye Samurai.
Still haven't seen it.
Very, very well done show. The first episode was Hammer Scale. Basically, the warrior that you're introduced to, lone warrior named Mizu, gets stuck with an unexpected travel companion while Princess Akemi grasps for a way to control her future. Nice juxtaposition there, but it's the animation is amazing. And the story is incredible. And it's about a warrior a woman who happens to own a very special sword. And it is a revenge tale, really. She's searching for 4 white men who would be about the right age and description of men who could have gotten her mother pregnant and actually be her father, and cursing her with blue eyes. Having eyes like that makes her an outcast instantly in her culture. And so she has decided to take revenge on her father, but it's narrowed down to these 4 gentlemen. So she's decided just to take them all out. So one by one, she tracks them down and, ends their existence, or unalives them, as they say. It's the parlance that many, many kids use today. So now, Gary, you've not seen it. Martin, have you checked out Blue Eye Samurai?
Oh yes, I saw the whole show. I really liked it. There are only two things that I didn't get along, but in general terms, yes, it's a good show. The action scenes are incredibly well done. What can I say? I liked it. I liked it. Besides those 2 things that we maybe talk about later.
Well, the cast is incredible. Okay.
And the character that's this guy. Oh my God, George Takei makes his voice. It looks exactly like George Takei.
Yeah, I know. It really is kind of cool.
Oh my!
George Takei, Randall Park, Brenda Song, Mazioka. You may remember him from the show Heroes. And Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah.
So it's
I always got pissed that they ran that show off the rails like they did, because they screwed over all those actors when they did that.
Yeah, they did. Additional voice acting with Mark Dacascos, Ming-Na Wen.
I know him.
Oh yeah.
Patrick Gallagher, Byron Mann, I mean, this is a very good cast, and they did well. They did really well with the cast. They did really well with the writing. This first episode really just sets you on a course to the point where you really want to binge watch it. It's so good. It is just so good. And for those of you in the chat who've had an opportunity to see it, I will say this. I'm very happy about the fact that we're going to get another season. But the downside is, since it's animation, it's going to take a while. But we are getting another season of the show. I just think that when you have something that is original and is very entertaining, there is always that fear that you have going into season 2. Will they be able to keep the quality up? Will they be able to take from where they left off and just continue on? Because the final episode of this first season has an ending that it's not really a cliffhanger, but you're anxious to see what happens next, considering how the story ended.
Right.
The entire show just does its job. I can't stop praising it enough. But Blue Eye Samurai. So yeah, I hope you will give this show a chance, Gary, Anima. I hope you will sit down and at least watch the pilot episode at least, and give it a chance. I think it's worth your time.
I'm sorry, that's a no for me.
Okay.
I'm not interested in stuff like
Okay.
that.
Hey, that's
I
fine.
I mean, remember before I met Gary, I thought animated stuff, period, isn't my cup of tea.
And now she's a fan of Bob's Burger.
Oh, I love Bob's Burgers and Archer, and he introduced me to great stuff. But some things like anime just don't work for me.
Yeah,
and I try, and I'm like, no. There's so much that I have to watch.
Well,
this is never going to win me over. I'm sorry.
This is a show that's kind of an experiment because it's actually a company that's based out of North America, Canada, and I think Japan. It's all three. And the main headquarters for the actual company that does a majority of this is all in Canada. So this is really Canadian. Gotta love this stuff. Wow. Anyway, that also brings us to our number 6 show.
Already?
Now,
okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
whoa, boom. There you go.
Well, we're at the top of the hour, so let's take a moment before we start into it to talk about some other stuff, including
some
of the stuff that I think we should do maybe on the next episode. Some that weren't on your list that I think should be on the list. Mr. In Between is one of the best shows. It's right off the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a show that I've been planning to. I've shown clips to Anima, and she's really wanting to watch this because it is the show about a dad who also is a hitman, and he has to juggle his life and dealing with it, dealing with anger management. He's forced to go to anger management.
Help me out! I don't remember what show that is.
Remember when he's walking down the street with his daughter and the two punks knock her ice cream to the ground?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
That show.
Did it. Thank you, Keith.
Then he's like, all right, I want you to wait here, love. I'll be back. And he walks over there.
Oh, I definitely want to watch that.
I just fucking love that one. Another show right off, just took off for me. And it's a hit. And I'm sad this is the final season. Is Evil.
Wow.
I just love this show. It's brilliant. Everything it does. Another show that took off right from the get-go. Tulsa King.
Ooh, yes.
We're about ready to get our new season. And another show that took off right from the beginning, Yellowstone, also created by the same guy. Same guy created them. Those two. Another show that, even though Anima didn't get into this, I'm okay with that. I fucking love this show from the first episode.
No, not at all.
Oh, yeah.
True Detective held me and captivated me until the final seconds of the final episode. That first episode was so intense, going back because we crossed time, even in the first episode. And you're like, what is going on here? I have to understand when all these different time periods will converge to that one important moment, and that's what it does. Season 1 was effective, and it's, in my opinion, the best of the series. Second season was pretty good. I got to be honest with you. I thought
Which
people
was
were
the one you tried to show me?
unjustly. That was the first one,
Okay.
and you just didn't get into it. And I don't care. It's
so
fine.
slow. It didn't catch me. Now the last
I know
last
some people have to
season
have
that we
everything
got.
spoon fed to them. They can't sit there and watch
No, that's not
a
it.
slow
The
burn
last
film.
season that we got. Speaking of awesome pilots, that first episode of the last season was so promising, and then it just fell apart.
Oh, quickly. It quickly fell apart. Another show, and I didn't see the first 3 seasons of this show. A friend of mine, you remember my friend, Kevin Watkins.
Miss him so much.
I miss him too, man. Kevin came by and dropped off the first 4 seasons on DVD for me. And I watched all 4 seasons in a very short period of time. That first episode, holy shit.
Yeah.
Had me going, man. And another one that was burning for me from episode 1.
Yeah. So I heard about that show.
This is all about what I keep talking about. Apple has the smallest subscribership of any of the streaming services and puts out more quality than any of the other ones. Now, agreed, they put out some woke shit too. But the fact is they put out more quality entertainment to compete. They're basically, because I tell people all the time, if it's woke, don't watch it. Watch something that's not woke. Because and Apple puts out stuff that's woke and puts out stuff that's not woke. So they're trying to basically placate all the different audiences. And if there's an audience for woke shit, then make shit for them. Just don't turn stuff that I like into woke shit. But this show was something else. And I got to tell you, I had no inkling of what was going to happen 3/4 of the way through the season of what was shown to me in that first episode. That first episode had me hooked because it gave us the mystery. What is the mystery? He's got to solve this mystery. And you meet all these different characters and you're like, who's who? And there's this politics of the relationships, And I was totally engaged with that series. Exactly. It's quality over quantity. Even though they lost me on For All Mankind in the last 2 seasons, I love the first 2 seasons. What's this one? What you talking about?
I think True Detective.
Schnotsky?
Maybe.
Oh, he's talking about.
I think he's.
Okay. He's talking about True Detective. That's fine. Season 2.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people didn't like it. It's because it wasn't like the first season. It was a completely different crime show, and it has a heartbreaking ending for me. My heart was broken at the end of that because the 2 characters that you kind of hoped would win end up dying. And I don't know. He wrote it. The creator of the series wrote it, and the only one he didn't have anything to do with the writing on was this latest season, and I just fucking hated it. I also liked season 3 for what it was worth.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it more than I liked season 2, but not as much as I liked season 1 because season 1, there was something really, and they were kind of alluding to the fact that there was something mystical happening here. And it may not be good mystical, it might be evil. And I enjoyed that. And in the end, it was just a bunch of evil motherfuckers that needed to be killed. And they kind of do that. That's why I like the two cops, played by Matthew McConaughey and what's his name from Cheers. They start killing
Woody Harrelson.
people. Yeah, Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. Yeah. Wow.
That is absolutely one of my favorite ones. And what he says to that kid, he says, "Oh, you can beat up another kid, but you can't watch your dad get his ass beat. I'll tell you what, you ever fuck with my kid again, I will come back here again and I'll fuck your dad in the ass and make you watch." You think that kid ever bullied his son again? He was traumatized, but he'd earned it.
Wow.
That's a dark season. Season 2.
Yeah.
They go into some very dark territory. And this guy right here, Colin Farrell, was very good in that. And by the way, that's a film I want to watch with her too, that you and I've talked about before, is In Bruges.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because the end of that film, wow. So much self-sacrifice in the final minutes of that film.
Yeah.
And one of them purely from a misunderstanding. Because I don't want to ruin it. I'm not going to say.
Is that happening in Brugge, Belgium?
Yes.
Yeah, it's about two Irish gangsters are hiding out there, and then one decides, I want to leave the life and find a life and find somebody and be happy. And it's Colin Farrell and the other Irish actor.
Gleason.
Oh my God, Gleason. Yes,
Gleason.
And they've done 2 movies together now, and they're really good together. They have just a great rapport. So, but anyway, I went over what we should probably talk about next week.
Okay.
I think those should be some of the episodes. There should be some more. You
I have
saw
an
I had a
idea.
much larger list.
Oh, yeah.
Let me go over the list I gave you. Hold on, honey. I'm sorry. Hold your thought for just a second because I want to get this out. I had The Walking Dead, The Venture Brothers, Undateable, The Last Ship, Mayor of Kingstown, Ray Donovan, Mind Hunters, Fargo, Bob's Burger, SEAL Team, Superman and Lois, Fringe, and then Agent Elvis, as well as Fallout and The Old Man and Severance and Cobra Kai. My God, shows that absolutely nailed it on the pilot episode.
Mm-hmm. Well,
all of those.
Venture Brothers would have made it on this list, not to spoil something, but I mean, that's 2003. The pilot was.
Wait, the Venture Brothers? I thought that was 04.
No, that's 03.
Okay, I take them back. Fuck you, Venture Brothers. Okay, Anima, you had something you wanted to say, baby.
Come on, people, with this banner from Lost.
Well, 2 things actually, Gary. The first is I do really want to finally talk about life on Mars. That has been set up for so long. So how about we do that next week, and then the week after that go back to our top 10 list?
Yeah, we'll do the British one, the original series. Yeah. Yes.
I want to do that before it's been too long that we watched it. And my second idea is, why don't we rename this one Top 10 Pilots, blah, blah, the Keith edition. And then in 2 weeks, we do the Gary edition. And you need
because I want Keith there when we do mine too.
No, but this is Keith's list. And the Gary edition is going to be your list.
Okay, we'll do my list next week. Okay, that's fine.
He can come up with a top 10. Anyone can.
Right. Yeah. So now we're going to do, what are we going to do? Arcane? Was that what we were doing?
No, The Boys.
No, The Boys.
The Boys.
The show who brought me here, you guys. I shall never forget that day. I was dying from, my nerves were like, oh my God, I can't do this. Fuck you, Danny. I hate you. And then Gary just jumps at me with, are you German? I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here?
It's good to know that shows like this can really bring people together.
I asked her, "Are you German? Merman? Are you Ethel Merman?"
No, you asked me that with a very weird expression on your face, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Well, Eric Kripke, who is one of who is really the guy behind Supernatural, is the guy behind The Boys. And this is actually based on a comic of the same name that, you know what? The comic by Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson, that's not really a comic book for everybody.
Because
but for
Butcher
those of us,
dies in it?
Say what?
Because Butcher dies?
I mean,
I remember
because
you told me that, and I was shocked.
because how dark the comic is. You know, it's not a comic for everybody. Just like the show The Boys isn't really for everybody. You know, I was just I was one of those people that was just when I heard about it, I was intrigued because I knew about the comic and I knew how violent it was, and I just thought there is no way they're going to let them even approach some of the stuff that happens in this comic for a television show like this, even with Eric Kripke. I'm sorry, I can't. I had to watch it. It was must-see TV for me.
They had a guy shrink and crawl into another guy's penis and then sneeze and explode him.
Oh,
that was pretty rough for a TV series, right?
Yeah, that's rough. But the first episode is called The Name of the Game, the pilot. Okay, and for those of you who have never seen The Boys, it's a pretty easy plot. It's a world where superheroes actually.
Sorry,
Can you hear me now?
I had to mute my mic. Yes, no, it's me. I wanted to interject and put it out there that as much as I enjoyed this show and Preacher, I think Garth Ennis is a complete twat. That's all I wanted to say. I mean, anybody who would say that superheroes were the downfall of comic books is a fucking moron. Yeah. But I like some of his work.
Yeah. I can definitely say that with a show like Game of Thrones, everybody was surprised by some of the things that took place, especially at the end of the pilot. That was kind of shocking, and The Boys did nothing but shock you. The pilot of The Boys had several things in it that was just about shocking you. And again, it was an adaptation of the comic, but I mean, it was just, it's one thing to see it on the page. It's another thing to see it played out with people in real life and to see how, but it made my list because the pilot really made me want to watch where they were going to go with the show. It did its job. And I think it helped to really helped to focus on those particular creatives that wanted to do something different with comics. Comics can't always be the same. And in reality, as Gary will attest, comics aren't really the same. It depends on who's writing it, the company that's publishing it. There are different takes on different ideas, different types of stories to do. You know, there is a real difference between a book like The Dark Knight or like Kingdom Come versus a book like The Boys or a book like Sandman. You know,
well, I always say that this is one thing that Garth Ennis and Alan Moore had in common was their antithetical approach to superheroes. They both had a disdain for superheroes. But then you look at them as people and you go, oh, that explains that. When you realize they're both kind of douche nozzles. You know, oh yeah, you wouldn't like superheroes. But at the same time, this was actually well done, and I think that's no thanks to Seth Rogen. I don't think Rogen had, thank God, any real input on this series. Because I think he would have ruined it. Ruined it, Brian. Ruined.
Ruined.
But go ahead, Keith. Keep going,
again, I have to say that from the very top, this is one of those shows that could not have worked unless they were willing to do many of the things that you saw in the comic. I, sitting on the sidelines, I mean, if it had been up to me, I don't know if I would have had the stomach to be able to do many of the things that they ended up doing for this show. But I got to give it up to them. They did a fantastic job. First of all, Carl Urban, because Carl's my guy. He's
Carl
my dude.
Urban, for me, made the show.
Yes, he is.
And I like Dennis Quaid's son here, too.
Jack.
He's really good.
Jack Quaid, Aaron Moriarty, Karen Fukuhama, Chase Crawford, Laz Alonso, Tomer Capone. I mean, just even Simon Pegg, being a part of the first season. Of course, Giancarlo Esposito, because he's Giancarlo Esposito. Elizabeth Shue, Laurie Holden.
Was Esposito in season 1? Because I remember him in season 2.
He was in season 2. Okay, but I give him credit because once he's introduced on the show, even all the way back into season 1, you can feel his influence. That's how good of an actor he is. I still feel that we have yet to find a proper show that can encompass and allow Giancarlo to be Giancarlo, because I think he's just a badass dude. He's a badass actor. He
was one of the best villains with Mandalorian.
Oh,
I
heck
love
yes.
his character.
Oh, yeah.
And for a show, look, to me, one of the most defining shows of this or any era, Giancarlo was amazing on Breaking Bad. I mean, God, just amazing.
And he made good chicken too.
You're right.
I've eaten at the actual real restaurant that's based on it. It's good chicken.
I though have to just say though, Carl Urban is Billy Butcher. Anthony Starr is definitely Homelander. What he is able to do with that character, and again, it's not so much a lot of the violent stuff that people will point to, but it's the scene in season 1 on the plane.
Oh my God, that's
the coldest moment of any series like this I have ever seen, and I know I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. Of how Homelander, being this great hero that all these people are looking to save them on this plane that is going down, and how he can look at these people and act like, oh yeah, I'm right on it. Just sit back, relax. I've got this.
He's a psychopath.
Ooh, that is just
that was hard to watch.
Anyway, the pilot for this show was enough to really get me to understand, and anyone else to understand, that this is a different kind of show, and that they are gonna try to match really what the comic was able to put forth. So for me to tune into the show, it was all about, okay, let's just see if they're actually going to do this, and they did. In some ways, even going further. In some ways,
they do give us some heroes in it. That's something different than what Garth Ennis. Garth Ennis doesn't believe in altruism when it's a superhero. He believes that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. But that's not always the case. And we know that's not always the case. So Superman in his mind has to be evil. And I'm glad that the show didn't actually do that with all the characters. Some of them are really good people.
Yeah. I
remember when Danny got me to watch this, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not into superheroes, but whatever. It's a TV show. How long can the episodes be? And halfway through the first episode, I'm like, wait a minute, they're the assholes here. This is cool. And then I totally, it sucked me in. I binged it. I think the whole thing within 2 weeks.
Oh, I feel for you. I do. I don't think I could have done that.
No, I had so much fun.
It's good. It's good. But
I mean, you know me by now. I like it when it gets gory, like when the tiny guy explodes within the other one, or Adrian plowing through her boyfriend.
Through his girlfriend. Oh my God.
Oh, the girlfriend. Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Or when what's his face? When he forces the Deep to eat his friend.
that was
awesome.
Great.
Yeah, there's actually an episode of The Hot Ones where the Deep and I keep forgetting his name. The two actors, they face the wings of death together, and it's so much fun because they're good friends and they keep teasing each other like they are their characters. So you don't know, are they being the actors or in character? It's amazing.
Well,
I love that show.
I will say this: if you can make it to The Boys season 3, all I have to say is Herogasm. That's all Herogasm.
They go weird. Weird things happen.
I mean, that entire episode just, I think I'm even thinking about it now, and I think I need help.
With what?
Herogasm. I mean, it's just like my eyes.
Oh, you mean when Stormfront? Yeah.
Well, no, the whole of Herogasm. What that is actually about, and what that name means, and it's just like, oh, okay. It for me, it's right up there with the Red Wedding. You know, the boys function on a level to where almost every season there's got to be. You know, with Game of Thrones, really, there are a lot of incredible scenes in Game of Thrones. Scenes that burn their way into your memory.
Quite literally.
For me, though, you know, it's the Red Wedding. For a lot of people, really, it's the Red Wedding. There are quite a few scenes like that throughout The Boys. And at least you're almost guaranteed to have something like that happen in every season. There to be one episode or one sequence that just burns its way right into your memory. And
because
for me,
almost too much, right?
Yeah, Herogasm was just, you know, 13-year-old me would have just laughed about it to hear about it, but to watch it, that's too much. That was too much. That's all I can say. If you've never seen the show, make your way to season 3, Herogasm, and understand this before you watch the episode. You have been warned. Okay? You have been warned.
And that was the end of it for me, because I heard this new season with Woke, and Seth Rogen and his partner, you know, basically condemn fans that are against wokeness. And it's like, you know what? I'm done with your show.
Yeah.
I don't have to watch your show. They seem to think that we have to watch it. Nope, don't have to.
I saw them doing that in the first 5 minutes of the last episode of the second season. When those 5 minutes ended, I stood up and said to my wife, if you want to see it, go knock yourself. I'm not going to see this anymore.
I don't even remember what that was.
Oh, that if if you watch YouTube, you will become a terrorist. Talking shit about people who believes in borders and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Well, I think we've covered everything. Oh, you've already posted the next one. I was gonna. Okay. Anyway, the next one that we're doing is number 5 on my list is Legion. Pilot episode titled Chapter 1. I need to say something. And you really need to understand, especially for those of you who have still never sat down to watch this show. Superhero television shows come and go. There are a lot of them. Some work, some don't work. When I first heard that they were going to do this series, I pretty much was of the mind that there is almost no way they were going to make this work. Just no way.
It was so crazy. The comic was crazy.
Yeah. Noah Hawley, who is the creator and showrunner, or at least the one who translated the comic to become the television series. Incredible writer. But I couldn't see a way in. I mean, granted, I don't work in the TV industry, but I could not see a way into this that didn't require you to actually take drugs to understand what this is about. Without actually doing drugs yourself to get into this show.
Well, this is transcendental television.
Yeah. It oh my goodness. I will also say this. By the end of the pilot episode, I didn't care what happened after that. I was in. I was so locked in, and I was afraid because at that time, the MCU was the MCU, but Fox had already just done an amazingly bad job with all of the Marvel properties they had in their possession. And so really what we were getting was a lot of television stuff, which seemed to be the only good stuff that Marvel was doing. In my opinion, outside of the stuff from Netflix, this is one of the best things they've ever done. And the pilot for this show is just amazing. The whole of it. I still believe to this day that this show deserved an armload of Emmys. And that Aubrey Plaza should have been given all kinds of recognition and awards for her role on this show. Dan Stevens, as far as I'm concerned, broke out big from this show. He can do anything. I've seen him in a lot of different movies. He's the Beast in Disney's Beauty and the Beast. I mean, he can do it all. But this will always be his show. This will be where he, as an actor, it just gave him everything you could ever want as an actor in one part. Bill Irwin, phenomenal job. Amber Midthunder, who was the young woman who everybody really noticed when she did the Predator, the most recent Predator about the Native Americans. She got her break on this show. Rachel Keller, Jeremy Harris, and of course, Gene Smart, who I thought was better used on this show than she was on the attempt to make Watchmen into a television series. I thought
was terrible.
I think she is just way better on this show. This is, in fact, for those of you who have never watched this show, but you love what you saw in Deadpool and Wolverine, this is the only character that could really take on the biggest villain of Deadpool and Wolverine and do it without even breaking a sweat. This show, well, as you said, Gary, I mean, it's like nothing you've ever
transcendental
seen.
In the way that it worked.
Yeah, this could easily be on the big screen, and it was. I'm thinking if they ever showed just the first season in a movie theater, if you ever have the opportunity to watch it, just beware and make sure you have your favorite psychiatrist on speed dial. But season 1, the pilot, is just amazing, and it is worth your time. Okay, that's all I can really say. I think that's the highest praise I can give it, is that it is worth your time, your precious time. This is not a show for the entire family. I personally would not show this if my kids still lived at home. It would depend on how old they were, but I wouldn't show this to anyone under 16. That's my personal thing. I mean, what do you think, Gary?
About this show? Oh, I love this first season. It derailed in the second season. This is so common with TV shows.
Yeah.
It's like we do so well on the first season, we can do anything. And that's their first mistake. I can do anything I want. They'll love it. No. You did something right. Look at what it was you did right and try to echo that. Don't repeat it, echo it. Have a little thematic, because I like circular storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as a fan of Star Wars, clearly I love circular storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Real Star Wars, by the way.
Pre-Disney Star Wars. Martin, what are your thoughts on this show?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
really?
Well, let me just say I give this show highest recommendation, but remember, it's going to take your brain some places.
Well, first of all, they had a great cast.
Yes.
Aubrey Plaza was really good in her role.
Oh, geez.
The cute girl that he falls in love with, perfect in her role. Yeah. I think that, this dude, man, first thing I'd ever seen him in was where he plays an Iraq war veteran.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Dan
kind of eerie. Dan Stevens. He was so good in that. This guy can do anything. He was really good in the new Godzilla film. I finally watched it yesterday, and I was like, holy shit, that was fun. Finally, they made a fun Godzilla Kong movie. And I think they still could have spent less time with the humans, and it would have been better.
You're right.
But, I got a treat here. Continue talking about this show because I got a treat.
Well, let me just
10-second clip.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just say this. I think it is easy to say that Tatiana Maslany, the actress who a lot of people know from Orphan Black, who then went on to be She-Hulk for the MCU, but Orphan Black, as an actress, Tatiana Maslany is one of the great actresses for that show. Dan Stevens did exactly what she did with fewer episodes, fewer seasons, and went beyond where she established where an actor could take multiple characters. I mean, Dan Stevens easily matched and then went beyond. what Tatiana Maslany was able to do with Orphan Black.
Now I'm curious.
And of course, if you don't know, Legion is the son of Xavier.
Yeah, that's the thing that they eventually unveil. He is Charles Xavier's son. And he suffers from really schizophrenia, I think it is.
And wait a minute. If I go back to the comic books, isn't even Juggernaut related to Xavier?
Yeah, Juggernaut is Xavier's. Yeah, yeah. And then what's her name? Cassandra. Cassandra is his twin sister, and she's the one
that's in the new Deadpool movie. Yeah,
Deadpool and Wolverine, and she is way powerful. She basically is Xavier unleashed with no morals.
And you know what's really interesting is they got an actor, female actor that really kind of resembles the other actor that plays young Xavier.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
she looks a lot like him. By the way, is Bush here? Did you say Bush is here?
Yeah, Bush is here. Bush is ready.
There you go. Now here's the clip for you. We'll get claimed. I'll delete it later.
Come in and they're gonna kill you.
Faut savoir s'étendre sans se répandre, pauvre l'homme.
That whole musical scene,
yeah,
was so much fun to watch.
Oh,
I love this. Season 1 was amazing.
Season 1 was, if they could have found a way of taking what they did in season 1 and making that last over the whole of the series, there would have been riots in the streets from fans when they decided to not continue the show. I mean, that's how well season 1 was. It is look, out of the history of superheroes and comic books on TV, this is in my top 5 of all time.
We all know that, Bush. Keith and I think even Martin knows that.
But this,
he's not a mutant. Juggernaut's not a mutant. We know that. It's the jewel and his armor.
Yeah.
So
the thing about Legion is that he has all these multiple personalities, and each one has its own separate mutant power. And he's just dangerous, is what he is. I mean, capital D, dangerous. To the point where he probably was the only character that could have easily have defeated his aunt.
Yeah. Hey, we're running out of time quickly, so let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
Boom, baby.
Arcane is number 4. I can't tell you how good this show is. I mean, it's literally something that you're going to have to see for yourself. Arcane is one of those shows that is just fantastic out of the box. And while I know that Anima isn't really into it, this show does everything right, where a show like what's the name of that Star Wars show that the Acolyte did it wrong. The Acolyte tried to rip off this show and did an extremely bad job. For those of you who thought the Acolyte was going to be good, here's your show. Because everybody that wrote for the Acolyte more than likely watched this show, Arcane. The characters are well done. The sisters are incredible. I mean, if this had been a live action show, it probably would have won a bunch of Emmys. Easily. Arcane is just, it's just good. What do you think, Gary?
Muted.
Oh.
Gary, you're muted. Oh. Okay.
There's noise going on here, so I have to mute when it's going on. I thought this show, it caught me off guard. It really did. I didn't expect. I figured, it was going to be woke ass bullshit. I'm not going to fuck So I sat and watched it with my with Dave, Deanna's daughter, and I was like, "This is really fucking good." I couldn't believe how good it was, and I followed it all the way to the ending. I'm like, I had no idea that something like this would be so cool. And then started looking that they had been doing animations and stuff, testing this for a long time.
Yeah,
and it took them years to get to this point where they could make this show. It's beautiful to watch. It's actually very beautiful.
God, it is gorgeous.
Oh ho ho! We have somebody here. Boom, baby.
Hey.
Das Wolfen! How you doing, John?
Hey, man.
Just walked in the door, saw you guys were still on, and figured I'd pop on.
It's always good to have
John.
you, buddy.
It's
Hi,
been
Anima.
forever since I saw you.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're working.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, it goes for both of us. Because now you're streaming.
Yeah,
at the
she
time,
started
so
her new job a while back, and it's just she's got odd hours. But if we're done with this, we got to get through these really quick.
Yeah, let's get through the let's get through the next one.
The next one.
Next one is Penny Dreadful. And,
I love season 1 of this.
Oh God, season 1 was so good. John Logan, who co-wrote Gladiator, writes this one, and I gotta say, look, this show, season 1, really the pilot, is what everybody should be watching come Halloween. It is.
And by the way, can I add in here? This is what the Monsterverse should have been.
Yes. Yes. Universal's Monsterverse should have been this.
Because this is made up of the monsters from the classic Universal films.
Yes. It is just well done. And the pilot episode, Night Work, pretty much brings in all the characters. It makes sense. And it's meant to scare the daylights out of you. And it does it. The cast is just Josh Hartnett, Timothy Dalton, Eva Green, Reeve Carney. Yeah, I love Eva Green. She's a great actress. Harry Treadaway, Billy Piper, Roy Kinnear, and season 2, Patty LuPone joins. But that cast is freaking amazing. Period. End of story. I can't forgive how they ended the show because there's a clear demarcation. They were building towards something, and then almost immediately they just ended it. They tried to make it seem like they were headed for something and that they were trying to, we always meant to do it. That's BS. They were definitely on the way to building something. But the pilot is scary. And I said it before and I'll say it again. It has become part of my playlist of things to watch Halloween night because it is that good. So, does anybody else want to comment on Penny Dreadful season 1?
It's just a show you should watch. I didn't care much for the following season, but I think they did 3 seasons total, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It was season 1. It had that magic and it worked. So cool. What's the next one?
The next one is,
number 1.
No, number 2.
Number 2. Oh, I'm sorry.
Boom, baby. Oh,
The Expanse. You know, the thing about The Expanse that has to be truly understood is this. If you want to understand how badly Kurtzman Trek screwed up and what those people thought they were making, that's The Expanse. They honestly thought they were making something that could stand toe-to-toe with The Expanse. And Discovery and all the other Trek shows fall far short. even to the point where Strange New Worlds, one of the characters they made up for that show is based on one of the characters from The Expanse. They ripped off the look of the actress from the character and actress from The Expanse. Of course, they do a lot of that under Kurtzman Trek. There's a lot of borrowing from other things. But The Expanse is worth your time. It is a show that is based on a series of novels, but it's just really well done science fiction, period, with an incredible cast.
It's what I refer to as woke ideas that work.
Yeah, it's done the right way.
It didn't start going a little south until Amazon got a hold of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Amazon, if they had gone any further, I think that it would have been ruined. But it went out with a bang, and I enjoyed the final season. I thought it was bullshit to kill off the one character because he got a Me Too thing going that may or may not have been true. And so rather than sticking with the actor, they immediately cancel him and fire him, and they kill him.
Yeah.
Really in a terrible way, but I still cried when he died.
Yeah, it was
a tragic moment.
The crew of the
pilot
restaurant
episode really did. It does what, JJ wishes that he could do with his mystery box, is they create a mystery. They create stuff, and this is what frightens me when I'm watching something. It's like, the mystery is always good. It's when you find out what the answer is that you become very, oh,
yeah.
Aww. But this one didn't do that. Everything was interesting. Even when they find out what this is, there's still a fucking horrifying mystery to it.
Mm-hmm.
And how far will this go?
Part of it is the fact that it's the smart thing is that it's a television series based on a series of books that the authors of those stories participated in the making of this show. And so you were basically directly, well, in many cases, just translating what they were doing in the books to the series. Okay. While I understand why they canceled the show, I personally believe that they should have just gone ahead and just jumped ahead in the story and kept going forward. Because there's no way in my mind that you can justify canceling really good television like this in favor of Rings of Disillusion. So,
well, the books have a huge time jump.
Yes, I do realize that. I still think you could have done the time jump and continued the quality of the series, because it isn't just about the actors. It really is about the writers and the showrunners and really the people that you have working behind the scenes. This show was basically just doing it and getting it done on all levels. And it didn't take them that long to do that. And the reason why I keep giving shows like Rings of Disillusionment a hard time is that that's a show and a series where they've not put anything together. Their writers haven't done anything. And it should be beyond embarrassing for anyone that even stands up to say that they are a fan of even anything that they've done with Kurtzman Trek. You should be embarrassed after watching this show, because this is what they were trying to do. And they thought that when the show got canceled from the Sci-Fi Channel here in America, they honestly thought that they were just going to be able to inherit the sets to use for Picard Season 1, which is the reason why Picard Season 1, there's a lot of dark sets. You can't really see a lot of things. This show just got it done. That's all I can say. It's that good. And
absolutely agree.
Yes, we have to jump to the last one.
We got to
get to the last one. What is the last one?
House of the Dragon.
Oh, the one that I kind of enjoyed season 1 a lot. Yeah.
I would have flipped these, but hey, that's just me.
Yep.
I originally had them flipped. I originally had it. That was part of the thing that took me so long on writing the list. I kept changing my mind. But
it's not the first time your list almost drives you crazy. I have seen you.
Look, great show. Should have won more Emmys. Fantastic cast. If you're watching any other so-called fantasy series that isn't House of the Dragon right now, why? If you actually think Rings of Power is even decent entertainment, you really should have your head
in
examined.
comparison, definitely. I mean, season 1 of House of Dragon, yes. Season 2, I would still watch it before watching anything from Amazon.
Yeah.
But I started getting like, I was really turned off by season 2 of House of the Dragon.
And let's not even talk about Wheel of Time.
No.
What is that? Is that a thing? I don't know. All I know is the only thing I liked about season 2, and I'm serious. I want to be serious here. The only thing I really enjoyed and liked about season 2 is that we stopped seeing Matt Smith's ass.
But we see him bang his mother in one of his weird dreams.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. No one needed that.
I fast forwarded through that, so it didn't look so bad.
Yeah.
Look, Ryan Iffens should have gotten an Emmy award for being Otto Hightower, along with Matt Smith, Eve Best, who was also very good. But if there's one person who should have sat at the top of all this to get all the awards, Patty Constantine was.
Absolutely.
He was just, as Viserys, King Viserys, he should have been getting all the praise and all the awards.
I'm so glad they brought him back in season 2, and he insisted on having the face, like the falling apart face. He said, "If I'm coming back, I'm like sick to death, almost dead. I want that again." And they did it. It was so cool. And also having Millie Alcock back, the young Rhaenyra, she was so much better than the aged.
Well, she was able to film all of that before she started her training for Supergirl. But that's a story for another time. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to unveil my list, and
we'll be back again with some more. Because there's just so many good shows that took off with a great pilot episode. So but before we end this episode, I have to do my thing. And Anima, you never answered my question in the private chat.
What question?
Go look. It's next to last.
Poor girl. She's probably falling asleep.
Probably.
No, well, yeah, it's been a long week and I still have tomorrow to go. You never told me which story you settled on for today.
Yeah, we talked and okay. I'm just going to go with what I said.
Go.
There you go. My oh my. That always reminds me of that heavy metal song. The song Heavy Metal. My oh my, how that baby can fly. Is that the line? Or lady can fly? So why is this still playing?
Don't know.
Thanks, Martin. So basically,
now I know which one you meant. Yeah, you can do that one.
Thanks.
Took me a while. Sorry, it's been 2 days.
I was once
Stop laughing, Martin.
accosted by an outpatient mental institution patient. while trying to take a keg upstairs in a dormitory for a party. And it was a full keg. So that fucking thing was heavy. And there were 3 of us trying to get this thing up the stairs. And getting it into the building was easy. Getting it up those fucking old school stairs that were built in the 1800s was really, actually, technically, that section of the building may have been built in the 1700s. I think it was 1700s. And Williamsburg, this is at the College of William and Mary, where I went to fake college. I wasn't a student. My roommate, Martin Cox, who is still a friend of mine to this day, his roommate never showed up. I was dating a girl there, and I just went down there to hang out with her, and then ended up living on campus. I went to classes. I got involved with college activities. It was really ridiculous, and not a student. And there's so many stories from this place, but this is the one that it scared the shit out of me. And basically, I was trying to take, with 2 other guys, a keg up the stairs to the 3rd floor, technically the 4th floor, because the B rats, the basement rats, was another floor. So there were 4 floors to this building. And James Blair Terrace got torn down last year, the dormitories. And these should have been protected because they'd been built in the late 1700s, early 1900s. And Eastern State Mental Institution is the oldest mental institution in the United States. And they had outpatients, people that were allowed to be signed out and go around town. And there was this one guy who was built like Baby Huey, the giant duck from the cartoons? Built like him. He was about 7 feet tall, about probably 350 pounds. And he just showed up right behind us in the stairwell. We went, oh, hey. And he says, you need help? We're like, sure, you want to help us get this up the stairs? He walks up, and by himself, he grabs this thing, slings it over his fucking shoulder, and walks it up 3 flights of stairs to the top. These are steep stairs. And we're like, holy shit, that guy's a monster. And we get up to the top of the stairs, and 2 of us were like going, hey man, thank you so much for helping us. Is there anything we can give you? Anything we, get you? And he says, I want a chocolate chip cookie. And I'm like, well, I'm sure with all the sugarholics on this hall, we'll have no trouble finding that. But I said, okay, we'll get you one. So, and one of those sugarholics was my roommate, Martin, Mangy. And it was his nickname, Mangy. He gave it to himself. I'm like, well, who gives themselves the nickname Mangy? And so I said, Martin, you're always got junk food. You got any? And he goes, well, I got cookies in it, but I'm not sure if I got chocolate chip. So I go into the cabinets. It's right when you go in the door, you shut the door, and there's a wall cabinet there. It probably used to be where they kept their towels and stuff. Because this used to be the dormitory for employees of Eastern State Mental Institution, the staff, medical staff. And I'm looking in there, and I'm finding cookies, but no chocolate chips. So I walked out. I had like the Mallow Cup ones, and I had the Oreos. And I'm like, well, we got these, and some other people came down with some other types of cookies, but nobody had a chocolate chip cookie. And this guy went into a total meltdown right in front of us. This 350 to 400 pound human being that looked like he could pick us up and eat us. And the first thing out of his mouth is, yelling. He was yelling, I want a chocolate chip cookie. And I'm like, we're going to get you one. And so I turned to one of the kids that was a runner. He's on the track team. And I said, man, here's some money. Go to the 7-Eleven. It's about, it was less than a mile away. I think it was close to 3/4 of a mile. I said, you go there, you run all the way, and you run back and get that thing here. And we had to sit there for close to about 35, 40 minutes waiting for him. with this guy losing his cool over those cookies. And we're just like, oh my God, we're horrified. And I'm like thinking, I don't think I can even hurt this guy. If I hit him, he might chuckle. And finally, as this guy he was pacing at this point. He was pacing back and forth. And the guy came in with a bag of cookies. And I didn't want to give him a single cookie. That's all he wanted was one cookie. I said, these are yours. Take them. We love you. Thank you for not killing us. And he left. And we stood there for a while going, holy shit. I was terrified he was going to beat the fuck out of us. Like Hulk out and just start swinging us and slamming us into the ground like he did Loki. And it ended up, in the end, we got with the RA, and then the RAs got with the other RA. For each floor had an RA. In fact, I think each hall had an RA on each end to handle just their section of the hall. It was a huge dormitory. And they all got together and we all signed, I'm not even a fucking student, signed a complaint. And the lead faculty, the main doctors that ran Eastern State Mental Institution, had to come over and meet with us. And we had a huge meeting, and they agreed that they would start limiting some of the patients, where they could go and where they couldn't go. And we said, man, we got girls here. We can't have that happening. It was bad enough it happened with us. Imagine what had happened if that was a female. And they understood. And so yeah, you have to guess right now if that was a true story or not. Because you know I'm prone to making up good stories. So everybody has to answer true or false.
Can you make a poll for that?
I can't tell the story and make the poll.
Wow.
I'm so hyper focused on telling the story that I cannot also do the poll. So
I can't answer because I know.
Same.
But everybody can just write true. We got true from Wolverine.
This game is for you guys in chat.
Okay. He gets a backdoor video. Give him the backdoor video. Thank you, awesome one.
Good.
That was
Penny. What do you think? Is that true? Vinkman's girl. Do you think it was true? Vinkman's girl thinks it's true.
I have
Penny?
the backdoor video.
I don't like the idea of it going out the back door.
Oh. This one.
Holy shit. I just heard a symphony of buttholes clenching all at once.
Penny.
So Penny, false. Penny says false. She's going against the grain.
Yeah.
Eastland, what did you think? Did you think it was true? Do you think it was false?
Eastland is still hung up on the chips.
Martin, did you think it was true? Keith, did you think it was true?
It is true.
I have to abstain. I know.
Okay. Well, here is the answer.
Hi. That tale that Gary just told you is absolutely a true story.
And that's Zoe, the woman for
original
whom my
Zoe.
daughter Zoe is named after. She was there for a lot of the fucking high cheeks at William and Mary when I was a fake student. She thought it was so funny what I did. She's like, she goes, you're just living here and you're going to classes and you didn't sign up for anything. I went, no. And no tuition. You don't have to pay. I'm like, no. And I was so infatuated with her as a person. She's such a cool person to know. She's an opera singer, but she also sings jazz in London, sings for a jazz band, and just an incredibly talented, wonderfully intelligent person. And I was so enamored with her that I named my daughter after her. And Zoe's gotten to meet her and talk to her. But that's the real Zoe. And the funny thing is her last name. Her actual birth last name is Trollope. Trollope.
That is a weird name.
And but she married a gentleman by the name of White, so now her name is Zoe White. And I told her one day, I said, "Oh, thank God I don't have to call you a Trollope anymore."
Oh my God!
She just chuckles at my fucking weirdness.
She could have hyphenated her name, you know that.
And I do have to tell you that I was at William and Mary because of my ex-girlfriend, who was her college roommate, Lori. And I always said, you know, she got a lot of things out of that marriage. I got her friends. I got the friends out of it. And I got the better end of the deal for the most part.
Yeah.
So, and Zoe's just one of those wonderful people I'm glad I have in my life. Charlie's the other one, Anima. I got him out of the divorce.
I know. I know the whole story.
So, but that's it, guys. That's it. There you go. And now at the end of the show, we got to get ready for some good foreplay. And start the rest of our evening.
I need to go to bed.
Yeah, she needs to go to bed, and I need to, I don't know, do something.
Do old man things.
Must have been awkward. What must have been awkward in school?
Everything for you?
No, I was
You.
never uncomfortable.
You were awkward. I don't know.
I never went through that awkward stage. People just thought they had no idea how uncomfortable I was because I just never showed it. I was just always like talking and making jokes, and a lot of that joking came out of my discomfort, but nobody would know it. They would just look at me and just had no idea how uncomfortable I was.
Oh, Beckman's girl meant her last name. Zoe's last name must have been awkward at school.
Oh,
I did. Kids are evil.
I always felt bad because I'm like, you know, how am I not going to make a joke about this? You know, and I tried to avoid it, and finally it just came out one day. And let me tell you one of the cutest things about Zoe. I had the Foreigner album, Foreigner 4. You guys remember that fucking album, right, Keith? Right, John? That was the shit.
Yeah.
I imagine you even had that in Venezuela, Martin. Foreigner 4. And she came walking out of the kitchen singing as I had the song Urgent playing. And I could hear her more than I could hear the music, because I had it turned down kind of low. And she came out singing, "My love is virgin. My love is virgin." And I'm like, what are you singing? Like, she would misinterpret songs all the time. Like the song Hey Hey Johnny. By Elton John. She thought he was talking about John the Baptist and he was Jesus. And I'm like, did you not listen to the words of the song? It's about John Lennon. No, it's not about Jesus and John the Baptist. No, she was such a sweetheart, though. And she really did think the words were virgin on the song Urgent. She's so funny. Zoe, I have so many fond memories of her. She was just always funny. But anyway, that's it, guys. Everybody got it right except for Penny.
Still love you, Penny.
We love you. We do. But she's been right other times, so that's all that matters. You're right at least half of the time. So Eastland Burkholder, Awesome One, Tree Rock Creations, Boosh McFadden, DJ Play Nice, Common People, Vinkman's Girl, D. Bud Martin, Wolverine 626, Zax, Penny, Emmanuel, Josh Coe, not Joe Kosh, Andy Morrow, Snortopupus, and was Penny listed in there? I didn't see Penny's name in there. Oh, there it is, Penny. So thank you everybody for showing up today. Hope you had a good time. Next week, I guess are we going to do the next 10 next week, or are we going to do something
please.
else?
Let's do Life on Mars.
We'll do Life on Mars. Jesus.
It's a great series. It's been set
Oh
up
my
so
God.
long.
All right. Oh my
Thank you,
God.
Rascal.
Oh my God. I do want to show this screen capture before we go to. That is something a lot of people didn't notice when they saw the latest trailer. That is the alien dragging 2 bodies into the ventilation system for alien Romulus.
Wow.
I'm so stoked about this. So,
me too.
Looking forward to it. Anyway, end of the show, guys. Don't forget to hitch that Hawk and Puck type. Don't forget to click the like button. Also, make sure that you are being kept up to date by checking that you are getting updates from us. Some people aren't. Penny doesn't get them sometimes, and it really ticks me off. I don't know what to do about it.
Don't let YouTube screw you.
Don't let YouTube screw you. Check to make sure that you're still subscribed and following us. Check to make sure you've clicked the bell icon. And please do. I love that we're getting more comments now. Please do leave a comment. We love to hear what you think. Also, things that you might maybe want us to talk about. Put that in the comments down below. Everybody have a wonderful Friday. Don't forget later, you got Friday night tights, and you got Friday night frolics with Doomcock. And sometimes, I'm not sure about tonight, Loki does his little Friday night late night show with Snow.
Don't forget John
That does happen. I will be there tonight. So
cool. Tell everybody I said hi.
I won't, because you should do that yourself.
I got black guy stuff to do.
I got game night with John on Fridays.
Oh, that's right. See, I always forget what nights you're doing that. So it's Wednesdays and Fridays, right?
It's just Fridays.
Okay, just Fridays. All right. Well, anyway, have a good time tonight. Don't forget he's going to be playing. What are you playing tonight?
I am finishing up The Walking Dead Michonne, and I'm starting season 3 of The Walking Dead. The Telltale series.
Review the like button like a bad movie. Yeah, buddy. Everybody have a good Friday, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be doing French Connection. Ooh. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. This episode was brought to you by Black Goat Crack.